getting ready to whoop this nigga's ass. Get that and that, my belt, let's get it. Woo!
What is happening, Magnus sites? So I've got to find out what the madman himself and Mark Ellis had to say about Batman v Superman. I have not seen it yet. I see it tomorrow. And I will be seeing it in Philadelphia. So if any of y'all are going to the same show in Philly, look for me. Alright? You can say what's up. Now, let's get to this review, because I'm very curious to see what they have got to say. Collider. By the way, Mark Ellis is a very funny stand-up comedian. I went to see him while I was out in LA. He's good, like real good. Can't wait to see him do his own Hollywood home box
Schmoesville.
special.
Well, you clicked on the review because it's one of the most anticipated movies of the year.
Yes, it is, Batman
v Superman. We saw it, Mark. Here we go.
Here we go, Christian. The greatest clash between titans we've ever seen. This is Ali Frazier in the superhero world, and after seeing the movie, I can safely tell you there's so much cool stuff in here, but man, does this movie have some problems. And we're going to tell you some of them, some of the cool stuff too, but we're not going to give away any spoilers, just so you guys know.
No, there's no spoilers in this too, and I'm going to start with the fact that the beginning of this movie hits, and I was on board, man. I'm like, okay, we're gonna be in for a ride, and they really set you up for an adventure. And the way that they kind of connect everything that happened. What I will say is they bring you along with the Man of Steel. If you saw Man of Steel, continuing the universe was done very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Zack Snyder's back to direct this one, except now you have Ben Affleck as Batman, you have Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and you have Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. You have a lot of other surprises that pop in there. And Christian, what I'll say about this movie is that it's called Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Going into the film, I was really looking forward to Batman v Superman, not so much Dawn of Justice. I ended up thinking that the Dawn of Justice parts were really something special, and the Batman v Superman had a lot of neat elements, but I think that's where the movie turned into a pretty big mess.
The movie's very sloppy. It's very sloppy. The editing is terrible. Really is. But
really,
I say
man.
This about Ben Affleck's Batman, because I was very critical about it. He's the best thing in the movie. This Batman is a very different Batman. It is an aged Batman, damaged Batman, and he has a mission. And it's that mission to really protect people that he loves. And this alien might be a threat, so he's got to go after him. That storyline, to me, I thought was done really well for the most part.
Well, yeah, but it's hard to focus on anything in this movie because, look, to be honest, we saw the movie very, very recently. This is like trying to digest 3 Thanksgiving turkeys in a row. So when you have the Batman versus Superman elements, I like that they're gearing up for mainly a war that they're not sure what they're in for. The acting, the performances in this movie, almost across the board, are tremendous. I did not like Lex Luthor that much. I did not dig the way Jesse Eisenberg portrayed the character.
I can understand that.
A different way, for sure, and I thought it was a little too over the top. Kind of with it.
But what was too over the top in this movie to me was the way that Zack Snyder not necessarily directed the film, but the way the story was told. There's a lot to put in there, and once again, I feel like eventually the style won out over substance.
And a lot of times that's usually what's said about Zack Snyder, and I think he proves it again in this movie. The guy can really put together some great visuals. His storytelling is lacking. There's a lot of times that the movie's going in one direction, and then it just cuts strangely, or something else happens, and you're like, wait, there's no involvement here. I'm starting to get emotionally attached, and then you just move me into this fast motion, and I'm not engaged anymore. And they did that so many times in a movie that is 20 minutes too long.
Well, Christian, here's what I'll tell you though, is that we have so much to bite off in this movie. I mean, look, you get to see all Batman, what he's been up to, all the neat gadgets. Jeremy Irons as Alfred, I thought was tremendous. I walked out of this movie liking Superman more than I did when I saw Man of Steel, which underwhelmed me a little bit. I've since been won over by it. I thought Amy Adams as Lois Lane did a tremendous job in her performance. But look, I cannot help but feel disappointed by the movie overall. Not the fact that there isn't a lot of great stuff in it, because there is greatness somewhere in this movie, but the film itself, Christian, let me down.
I think that you nailed it. I think that one of the main things that people that are disappointed with this film, I think what it is that they're going to say there was so much potential there. There was so much potential for greatness there. The movie is not a terrible movie. It's just okay. It's an okay movie, and the thing it does it, and people are going to say, "Oh, this is bad news for the DCU." I don't think so.
I don't think so either, which is a weird thing to walk out of this movie with.
Because you're still engaged and you're watching, and you're going, "Okay, yeah, I like that, and I like that, but wait, it's just, no, get me out of this direction. There's too much setup here. It's really boring, and then it just goes so much action. It's sloppy. There's so much mess going on, but so much greatness there. There's so much cool stuff that could happen.
I might have left this movie a little bummed out by what I just saw, but also with a lot of hope for the future of the DC universe. And, you know, Christian, when you look at this movie overall, I think that you can take neat things in there. I left this movie with a smile on my face. Here's the emoji I tweeted right after I saw the movie, and it's because I had a smile on my face, but I felt like I got beat up. I'm not just judging this movie off of the expectations I had, which were lofty. I go into the movie and I want to see what it's presenting me, and I felt like it had something to say, and it just got lost in the translation because there's so much stuff going on.
It did, and I think, you know, people are going to say the trailers. How about the trailers? When people were complaining about it, was there too much shown? I do think there was too much shown. I think that the moments that they showed were really cool.
I did hear that.
You know, there's a certain story.
After seeing the movie, you're like, yeah, too much was shown.
The title of the movie and ultimately what it's about.
And that's what they were talking about.
That it took away from the experience a little bit because I had seen it in the trailer. I knew it was coming. So when that moment came, I was like, okay, how's this going to work? Oh, yeah, right. They showed that in the trailer, so I know how that's going to work.
I get that, but that didn't underwhelm me in the movie to the point where it's going to affect how I feel about the film.
No, but then it takes away the excitement of the moment for a little bit, just because you're obviously, as it's happening, you're still in it because it's a longer scene.
I totally get what you're saying. I'm not making this for review, and I don't think you are either, a referendum on how the movie was marketed. Right, I'm talking about the way this film came off as a movie, because look, 10-year-old Mark Ellis, hell, you know, middle-aged Mark Ellis, old Mark Ellis could watch this movie and be like, that is awesome.
It's
look
cool
at that
to see
fight
Batman
scene.
and Superman.
But as a movie, as a film, I hesitate to even call myself a critic, but when I put the critic hat on, I have to look at this movie and I say, I don't think it's a fresh film. It's got a lot of potential for the universe. I'm going 2.8 out of 5 schmoes for Batman versus Superman. Here comes the hint.
I get it. Here comes it. You know, and it's funny because we were on different pages when it came to Man of Steel, but I understand where you're coming from here too. There was some really cool stuff happening, and I was locked in for the whole movie. I was locked in, and like I said, I thought Batman was great, a different kind of grittier Batman that we've ever seen. That was another thing, by the way, real quick, is that this movie, I get the dark tone, and they set that up in Man of Steel.
Necessary to have.
This movie, however, is so dreary that a Batman and Superman film. This is but there's nothing in this movie for kids. They're like kids who like Batman and Superman.
Really?
You think, I can take my kid to see it because it's Batman and Superman. This is not for kids at all.
It's a very nice point.
Wow.
Me, because I don't
really?
But kids go to see Batman and Superman, and I think kids are going to be bored by this movie. But I wasn't bored. I can't say that I was bored. There were parts of it that was a little, come on, let's go, and then they finally do.
Drum roll,
But I still think it's a fresh movie. I'm going to go 3.25 out of 5 schmoes.
My score for Man of Steel. Look at that.
Yeah, but Man of Steel I thought was a far superior film, and I really liked Man of Steel. I thought that it was well structured. Man of Steel was way more structured than this movie was. It's all over the map. I know. I could feel it.
That's the same thing you gave Fantastic Four.
You know what I'm saying?
Madman.
Right now.
It's also like B versus S, because this review is all over the place. Because look, we wanted to give away everything. We didn't do that. We are going to have a spoilers-heavy review that comes out later this week. Keep your eyes open for that.
I will.
And I'll say this: I welcome all the comments. It doesn't. You have to have very thick skin to do what we do.
Oh, sure.
I like hearing honest opinions, even if it disagrees with mine. If you attack me to my core, it's okay too, guys. Make sure you think about it before you comment.
I know, and we get it. We've been doing this for a little bit. We know it's coming, but the thing is that it was one of those. We knew it. We went in there going, look, we hope you love this thing. We want to love it.
Yeah, because the other fanboys is going to jump all over.
Service to tell you guys how you might love the movie, but we can't lie to you. This is how we felt. The movie itself. I think that you should see it. You should absolutely see the movie, judge it for yourself. It is a ride. It is not a bad movie. It's just okay.
Yeah. You know, I go to be entertained by movies. That's like my main thing. And I think that I was so entertained by this movie, but at the end, just the fact that it just was not a good film kind of outweighed it just a little bit.
All right, let's
just end it.
All right, Schmoes. So right there is the Batman v Superman trailer, the latest one. We reviewed that one.
Good
And there's our Man of Steel review. Check that out.
Read those comments. That's Christian. I'm Mark. Subscribe to this channel. Never miss a movie review, regardless of how you feel about the film ever. Again, click our heads. Thanks.
Boy, Mike.
All right, I'm telling y'all right now, this is basically, I'm telling you right now. First off, both of you better not lie to me, because if it's a good movie, the next time I see you guys in LA, I'll put you both in the figure 4. Woo! But after seeing this review, I'm telling you right now, this is how I'm looking at it. This is how I'm looking at it, period. If anybody tells me it's bad, I'm looking at it like a hot chick that my homeboy just told me has herpes. I don't believe you. I'll find out for myself. I'll talk to the girl, we'll get to know each other. And if she has herpes, I'll find out. But until then, she's the best thing since sliced bread, okay? This is beauty is her name, okay? That's how I'm looking at this, okay? This is the holy grail of movies right now, of superhero movies, and I'm going to see this. If it's got problems, I'll find out. Right now, I don't believe you, Schmoes, at all, okay? I don't believe Jeremy Johns either. You're the only two reviews that I watched today, okay? I'll check out Stuckman, and I'll check out the Muscle Guy, check him out, and a few others to see what they got to say. And then tomorrow, when I review the movie, you will get my review. Post all your comments down below. Make sure you go over to SchmoesKnow and subscribe. Check them out. They got a lot of great material. And yeah, 1 million subscribers. Woo!